You won't shoot woman.
The world of Sin Blackout is dark, gritty, and unforgiving. Every twist and turn in this movie brings you face to face with betrayal, violence, and heart-wrenching decisions. Tosin's life is turned upside down after the brutal murder of her husband, a victim of the ruthless drug lord Blaq. Her descent into a world she never asked for has just begun, and it's a ride you won't forget. This isn't just a crime story. This is a battle for survival. Tosin is forced to take on a role she never imagined, running a dangerous empire filled with corruption and pain, all in an attempt to protect the one thing she has left, her children. The stakes are higher than ever. But when it comes to the criminal world, trust is a rare commodity, and every choice has a price. What happens when a woman is pushed too far, forced to make impossible decisions to survive? Well, stick around because this is where the true chaos begins. You're watching Naija Movie Recap, where we break down the best in Nigerian cinema and beyond. Today, we're diving into the whirlwind of Sin Blackout. Trust me, you're in for a wild ride, filled with twists, turns, and betrayals that'll leave you questioning who you can really trust. Let's break it all down. When Tosin's husband is murdered, it's not just a tragic loss. It's the beginning of her descent into a world she never wanted to be a part of. Her husband had been involved with the wrong people, and when he went against them, he sealed his fate. The criminals, led by a ruthless drug lord named Blaq, take him out, and just like that, Tosin's life is flipped upside down. But the plot doesn't end there. Tosin is forced to take his place, running a dangerous and lucrative drug empire, not out of choice but out of necessity. She's thrown into a world of corruption, violence, and crime, all to protect her family. The stakes are high, and the pressure mounts every single day. What's worse, she has to work for the very man who took her husband's life, the one who coldly made her widowed and left her drowning in pain and confusion. The first few days after her husband's death are a blur. Tosin can't hold it together. She's caught in a whirlwind of grief, alcohol, and sleepless nights. Alcohol becomes her only companion as she desperately tries to numb the pain. She drinks as though it's a cure for the devastation she feels, hoping one more sip might dull the overwhelming grief that continues to crush her. It's like communion for her, a ritualistic act to forget the loss. But life doesn't care about her grief. Life doesn't care about her pain. Life decides she's a drug lord now, and Tosin has no choice but to accept it. She's not doing this for herself. She's doing it for her kids, who have already begun asking questions no mother should ever have to answer. Mommy, is Daddy really gone? Those innocent eyes, full of confusion and hurt, are a reminder that she's in deep. She has to toughen up. She has to get her act together. For them. Not for herself. She's lost that right to peace. But for her children, she's going to survive. And just when you think things can't get worse, here comes Lil Baz, a rival drug dealer who wants to make her life even more complicated. Lil Baz rejects her offer of peace and turns his back on her attempt to form an alliance. Instead of listening, he decides to kill her dealers, sending a clear message. She's not to be trusted. Tosin sees this as an act of war. Lil Baz has made a huge mistake, and now she needs to send him a message. She isn't some pushover. If you mess with her, you'll regret it. But here's the kicker. Tosin is not a cold-blooded killer, like Blaq wants her to be. Sure, she's killed before, mostly in self-defense, mostly in situations she had no control over. But the killing game isn't something she enjoys. She fears Blaq, and the worst kind of fear isn't the fear of bullets or bloodshed, but the kind that lives rent-free in your head. Blaq doesn't just control her empire, he controls her mind. She wakes up every day to the thought of him hovering over her like a shadow, knowing he can strike at any moment. He's a ghost in her life, and she can't shake him off. But things don't end there. Tosin's brother, a drug addict who's been out of the game for a while, suddenly starts sniffing around and realizes that Club Sin isn't just a high-end nightclub with pricey drinks. It's a front for her drug business. And guess what? He wants in. He thinks he can play this game. Tosin can't believe it. Her brother, a crackhead, is trying to join the family business. This is ridiculous. She's drowning in problems, and now she has to babysit a junkie who thinks he's ready for the big leagues. Tosin has to act fast. She promises Leo she'll handle her brother. She can't afford for him to mess everything up. A sneaking addict is bad enough, but a ratty, snitching addict, that's a whole different kind of problem. Her world is already falling apart. She doesn't need him to add fuel to the fire. Tosin decides that she needs to deal with Lil Baz first, once and for all. She's ready to take him out and send a clear message. Nobody crosses Tosin. She doesn't want to drag things out any longer. She's tired, emotionally drained, and ready to make her enemies pay. Leo gets the message loud and clear, but not in the way Tosin expected. He doesn't just back down, he turns it into an all-out war. He raids Lil Baz's bar, killing everyone inside. The bar turns into a bloodbath. A tragic mass execution unfolds, and women and children are caught in the crossfire, all victims of a decision that was never her own. Tosin is devastated, and Leo's explanation that the execution was done under Blaq's orders does nothing to ease her guilt. And just when you think things couldn't get more twisted, Leo gets shot. This is where Tosin's softer side starts to show. She's been tough, hard and relentless up until now. But when she sees Leo bleeding out, something shifts in her. She doesn't want to be the killer Blaq is trying to turn her into. She doesn't want to keep fighting, but she has no choice. She kisses Leo, and in that moment, it feels like maybe, just maybe, she's found a moment of tenderness amid all the chaos. The meeting with the team feels like a high-stakes negotiation. Haruna provides the updates, and the pressure is palpable. The shipment distribution in District 2 has settled after the earlier chaos, but the urgency to clear out the district before it spirals out of control is growing. Tosin's probing questions cut through the tension, demanding clarity. The final cache needs to move. No more waiting or asking. It's an outright demand. Tosin's mounting frustration is evident in her interactions with her team. She's tired of being patient. She's done waiting for things to fall into place. She needs results, and she needs them immediately. The operations details are finally starting to align. The local authorities are under control, and the border police are cooperating. Tosin and her team have handled it well so far, But new threats continue to emerge. The mention of Lil Baz brings a noticeable shift in the room. Tosin's calculated decisions have kept everything in check, but she knows her reputation is on the line. The incident with Lil Baz and his men was a necessary evil, but it's not without its consequences. Despite her decisive actions, making things more manageable, she's still dealing with the blood she's waded through to get here. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Tosin realizes she needs a loyal ally. Leo, whether she likes it or not, is the only person she can trust. So, she whispers sweet nothings into his ear. She gets him to talk. And talk he does. He spills everything. As the conversation takes a darker turn, the questions about Leo's past start to surface. Why did he join the consortium in the first place? It's a question that's been asked before, but now it's getting personal. Leo's life has always been about survival, but her story is more complicated than just being a product of circumstance. His journey starts in Lagos, where her parents, with big dreams for her future, made the ultimate sacrifice to send her abroad. He graduated top of her class, and the world was at his feet. But he chose a different path. He joined the army. The steel of the lifestyle, the danger, the thrill, the adrenaline became addictive. Before long, he and a few friends formed a group that specialized in luxury home invasions. It was a way to make easy money, and they were good at it. But one day, the intel led them astray. They ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time, trespassing in Blaq's domain. The consequences were swift and brutal. Leo and his team were confronted by Blaq himself, and instead of killing them on the spot, he welcomed them. "Welcome to hell," he said. Those words stayed with him, and from that moment on, Leo's life would never be the same. Blaq saw something in Leo, a set of skills that he needed. He didn't kill him. Instead, he trained him, showed him a different life, one that would eventually lead him to the consortium, a world he never thought he'd be part of. He wanted more, bigger opportunities, more power, but at what cost? He still doesn't know if it was worth it. Leo's story and Tosin's inner conflict mirror the dangerous world around her. Blaq's empire stretches across the globe, with his fingers in everything from entertainment to real estate. He's a man who owns everything, including the people who work for him. But the most shocking of all, the secret that could bring Blaq down. Turns out, Blaq has a child in Ghana, a little girl who shares his blood, thanks to a blood transfusion. Tosin feeds the information to the DEA, and they are shocked. How could Blaq be hiding this all these years? Interpol had mentioned it before, but apparently nobody was paying attention. Now, Tosin has a lead, and she's determined to use it to her advantage. We learn that Blaq's wife, who was also the daughter of a powerful consortium leader, decided she's had enough. She's done with Blaq's betrayal, and she's planning to take him down. She contacts Interpol and gives them the inside scoop. But just as she's about to finish spilling all the secrets, Blaq's enemies take her out. Interpol had assumed the daughter was also killed. Tosin continues to fight, making plans with Jackson, a guy who's trying to help her escape. They're working together to take down Blaq once and for all. Meanwhile, Blaq himself is a shadow, always lurking, always controlling, always one step ahead. He calls for a meeting, but his true intentions are unclear. Tosin and Leo know that Blaq doesn't do meetings like this unless there's something big at stake. They're playing his game now, but they have to be careful. Every move they make could push them closer to the edge of a cliff. The meeting with Blaq is a critical moment. Tosin is forced to confront him, to face the man who's controlled her life for so long. Blaq's proposal is simple. Expand their operations, take over sub-Saharan Africa, and grow his empire even bigger. But Tosin knows better than anyone that Blaq never plays fair. The stakes have shifted. What he's asking for isn't just business. It's her life. And she's done with that life. Blaq's calm demeanor hides a brutal truth. He tells Tosin, "You're doing this for us." His words hang heavy in the air. But Tosin knows the truth. She's not doing this for anyone but herself. She wants her life back. And the only way to get it is to escape from Blaq's iron grip. Tosin pushes back, but Blaq isn't listening. She's already paid her dues, and now it's time for him to honor his part of the deal. She's done with being a pawn in his game. In the midst of their confrontation, Blaq's daughter Cassandra becomes a key figure in this deadly game. The DEA uses her to get close to Blaq, but it's clear that Cassandra's life is just a bargaining chip. Blaq's true weakness lies in his love for his daughter, and they know this and use it to their advantage. The story takes a heartbreaking turn when Cassandra's life is torn apart. Tosin's manipulation, however necessary, comes with devastating consequences. Cassandra's death becomes a symbol of everything that's wrong with the world Tosin has been forced into. A child's innocence is lost because the people around her were playing a dangerous game they couldn't afford to lose. Blaq is enraged, and the fury in his eyes is terrifying. He's coming for everyone, and Tosin knows that no one is safe now. The clock is ticking, and Tosin is running out of time. But even in the face of tragedy, Tosin's emotions are raw as she stands at the crossroads of her future. She's lost everything: her family, her innocence, her peace of mind. But now she has only one choice: to fight for the one thing she has left, her life. The tension in the room is suffocating as Leo realizes the gravity of the situation. Sitting in the shadows, he knows that running isn't an option anymore. The time has come to face the consequences of their actions, to confront the nightmare that has been haunting them for so long. The truth is undeniable. He must find Blaq before Blaq finds them. There's no room for hesitation. The moment of reckoning is here. For Tosin, the stakes are even higher. She understands the cost of taking action, but there's no turning back now. This is the point of no return. Her heart races as she prepares to make the ultimate choice, knowing that whatever happens next, her life will never be the same again. Tosin knows what she has to do. She has one last chance to escape, to leave it all behind. Leo offers her the means to flee, handing her the travel documents she needs to get out of the country undetected. But there's a catch. She must go alone. Leo will not be joining her. It's a chance to start over, to find peace, but it comes at a cost. There's no guarantee of safety or freedom. As she prepares to leave, a haunting realization settles in her mind. This is where it all ends. The road that brought her here has reached its destination, and now she faces a choice: to die, to survive, or to find something else altogether. Her anger, her pain, and her love have brought her to this moment. And now, there's no turning back. The weight of everything hangs in the air. The anger toward Blaq, the loss of her children, the realization that every step she's taken has led to this inevitable confrontation. Tosin is ready, but she knows the cost of revenge is always high. It always is. Then, the past comes crashing back. Jackson's voice cuts through the tension like a knife. His words are soft, an apology wrapped in guilt. But Tosin feels the weight of those 2 years. It's been so long since Jackson saved her, since he arranged the funeral for her family. She's not the same woman anymore. Her anger still burns. Unanswered questions still linger. When will it stop? Jackson asks, his voice thick with emotion. Tosin knows that the time for running is over. The moment for answers has passed. She can't go back to who she was before. Not now. Not after everything she's lost. The moment of reckoning has finally arrived. In the shadows, Blaq waits. The reunion they've both been avoiding is inevitable. Tosin walks into it with a heart full of rage and determination, knowing exactly what will come next. Blaq remains calm, collected, but Tosin knows better. The air between them crackles with tension. He's not here to negotiate. After everything that's happened, there is only one thing left to do. End this. As Blaq taunts Tosin, the weight of their history presses down on her. His words sting, sharp as ever, but Tosin sees through his facade. He's here for a reason, driven by promises made long ago. He's haunted her because of decisions she made in the past, and now he will try to finish what was started. Tosin's rage intensifies. This isn't just about justice anymore. It's about survival. The lines between vengeance and justice blur as Blaq's cruel words echo in the room. But Tosin is no longer the scared woman who once followed Blaq's commands. She has seen the darkness, and now it is her turn to bring the light. This is her moment to fight for her survival. In the final confrontation, Tosin and Blaq square off. The years of pain, betrayal, and loss come to a head. Tosin's determination is clear. The past can't be erased, but the future is still in her hands. The battle between them won't end with a clean victory. Tosin knows this will come at a cost, but she's prepared to pay it. Blaq will fall, but it won't bring peace. It never does. As Tosin pushes forward, the reality of her situation hits her. The fight isn't over. The enemy remains, and the shadows still loom over her. But as long as she draws breath, her thirst for vengeance will never be quenched. The law may claim victory, but Tosin lives by a code of her own. Blaq will pay for what he's done, and she will stop at nothing until justice, his justice, is served. And that's a wrap on Sin Blackout. What a journey, right? From Tosin's descent into the underworld to her battle for survival. Every moment in this movie had us on the edge of our seats. The story, packed with betrayals, decisions, and heartbreak, takes us through a twisted web of violence and vengeance, all leading to a high-stakes final confrontation. Tosin's journey wasn't just about survival. It was about reclaiming her life, no matter the cost. But now, with everything she's lost, her family, her innocence, does she ever really escape? Or is she trapped in this nightmare forever? But here's the thing. Tosin's fight for survival is far from over. The world she's in doesn't give up easily, and neither does she. If you're like me, you're probably still asking yourself, what's next for Tosin? If you enjoyed this ride, like, comment, and subscribe for more. And trust me, there's always more. Until next time, remember, in a world like this, survival is never guaranteed.
You think I'm locked in here with you?